You ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went in there? Or spent a few seconds reaching for someone's name, somebody you've known for years? Maybe you had a quiet thought after that went something like, I don't feel as sharp as I used to. And if you're over 50, there's a good chance you followed that thought with, well, I'm just getting older. That's just aging. What if it's not? What if what we call brain aging is actually your brain asking for better support? Here's the encouraging truth. Your brain can still grow, adapt, and get stronger even after 50, but it responds to how you treat it. Now, today, I want to give you some practical, science based ways to keep your brain sharp, focused, and functioning at its best for years to come. Now, for those of you I haven't met, I'm Dr. Tom Neblett with 4 Points Family Chiropractic. Welcome to our Living to 100 webinar series, where each month we bring you important health topics to help you and your family live your healthiest, strongest lives. Today, we're going to focus on something that touches everyone. That's how to keep our brains working well as we age, and what we actually can do to improve brain functioning starting right now. And here's the good news about this. It doesn't require you to completely overhaul your life. All you have to do is incorporate a few smart, consistent habits that make a big difference over time. Many of our patients talk to us about this process. Many of us have had family members who they've aged. We've watched their mental decline. So it's an important topic, and it's a topic that a lot of us are dealing with in our own lives, either with ourselves or with family members. So stay tuned. I hope to send you out of here today with some very important, useful information. But I want to start with a little context because it's important to understand the why. When you understand what's actually happening in your brain, the steps we're about to cover make a lot more sense. Yes, our brains do change as we age. Processing can slow down a little bit. Recall may take a beat longer. Focus takes a little more effort. But here's where most people get discouraged. They assume that this decline is automatic, inevitable, and out of their hands. But the good news is the research tells us a very different story. There's a concept called neuroplasticity. Simply put, your brain can form new connections, reinforce existing pathways, and even grow new nerve pathways. And it does this based on how you use it. For years, scientists believed this was only possible in children. We now know that's not true. Neuroplasticity can continue well into your 60s, 70s, and even beyond. Here is a very important fact. Cognitive decline is usually not primarily about age. It's about accumulation. Accumulated stress, poor sleep, too little movement, understimulation, chronic inflammation. And here's the important pivot point that changes everything. If accumulation drives decline, then the right interventions can reverse it. You are not at the mercy of your birth year, all right? You're at the mercy of your habits. And as we all know, we can change our habits, right? One of the biggest mistakes people make as they age is they stop challenging their brains. They continue to practice the same routines, watch the same shows, have the same mental patterns day after day after day. But our brains thrive on challenge. Think of your brain like a muscle. If you stop using it in meaningful ways, it weakens. And if you train it intentionally, it strengthens. So here's what brain training can actually look like. One, read something that genuinely stretches you, not just the familiar genres, but topics or perspectives outside your comfort zone. The effort of making sense of unfamiliar ideas creates new neural pathways. Two, learn a new skill, a language, an instrument, a craft, because the learning curve itself is the point. When your brain has to figure something out, it's forming the kind of rich, broad neural connections that keep it sharp. Three, play strategy games, chess, bridge, puzzles that are challenging. All these engage your prefrontal context in ways that passive entertainment simply doesn't, and that drives cognitive benefit. And have real deep conversations that require you to think, discuss ideas, debate new perspectives, genuine listening and responding. All these things activate memory, language, and reasoning centers all at once in your brain in a way that scrolling through a feed never will. Now, a common problem that works against us, and most people don't even notice it, is that we have trained our brains to be distracted. Every notification, every tab switch, every scroll we make, over time, that's training our brains to become scattered, and your focus begins to degrade as a result of that. So here's one simple habit you can practice that I recommend. Spend minimum of 15 to 20 minutes a day focused on one thing. No phone, no interruptions, just reading, learning, working, whatever you choose, but staying fully present. As we do that, you're retraining your brain to hold attention. That is a skill that you can rebuild at any age. Now, let me pause here for just a minute, because what we're covering today connects directly to what we do in our office every single day. If you've been feeling mentally foggy, fatigued, struggling with focus or sleep, or you simply want to be proactive about how you age, we want to help. If you'll call our office at 512-345-9355, mention the mental fitness webinar, and we'll schedule for you a special new patient appointment for only $97. That'll include initial consultation, any clinically needed x-rays, and a follow-up appointment where we'll review those exam findings with you, go over any of our findings, and if we do find something needing attention, discussing with you how we can help you live a healthier life and achieve better mental fitness. So if you're interested, call us at 512-345-9355. We're here to help. All right, now let's keep going, because there's a whole lot more to share. Let's talk about one of the biggest brain drains most people overlook, and that's chronic stress. It's important to understand stress isn't just emotional, it's physical, chemical, and neurological. When stress persists over time, your body maintains elevated levels of a hormone called cortisol. Now, cortisol in itself isn't bad. We need it. It helps us to respond to challenges. But when cortisol levels stay elevated day after day after day, the research is clear, it shrinks the hippocampus. What's the hippocampus? It's the part of your brain that's most involved in memory. When this happens, this impairs focus, it disrupts sleep, and it dampens your ability to repair and learn. That's why managing stress isn't a luxury. It's actually brain protection. So here are some strategies that you can practice to help, reduce cortisol levels. First, practice 10 to 15 minutes of intentional stillness a day. Okay, I just used up another 15 minutes of your day, but this is important. Not scrolling, but actually being quiet. During this time, practice slow, deep breathing, belly breathing, Buddha breathing. That's where you take the breath in for four seconds in and then 6 seconds out. When you do this, it directly lowers cortisol and improves how your body reacts to stress. And then find things that you can do that create genuine calm for you and practice them. Time in nature outside, prayer, meditation, whatever that is, but make that a part of your day as well. Now, another important thing to be aware of is the importance of sleep. See, your brain has a built-in waste clearing system that only fully activates while you're asleep. That flushes out the metabolic byproducts that build up during the day. And these metabolic byproducts are associated with cognitive decline. So we have to make sure they're being cleared out through sleep. So it's important that you protect your sleep. Ways to protect your sleep. Limit screen time before bed. Try to get off your screens at least an hour before bedtime. Cut out caffeine in the afternoons. Try to stick to a consistent sleep schedule. All these things can help you get into better sleep patterns. Now, another strategy that may surprise you is the importance of movement. In fact, movement is actually medicine for your brain. Exercise has a big impact on brain health as well as on your physical health. Because here's what happens in your brain when you exercise or move. Number one, blood flow to the brain increases. That delivers more oxygen and fuel to brain tissues. Secondly, an important hormone called BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor, is released. This is like fertilizer for neurons. So it helps your nervous system function better. It creates new nerve endings. It helps with healing of neurons. That supports learning, memory, and brain resilience. Three, inflammation decreases. Regular movement is one of the most potent natural anti-inflammatory tools you have. And then lastly, your mood regulating chemicals improve. Chemicals like serotonin, dopamine, focus all go up as a result of exercise. How much movement do you need to do these things? Less than most people think. Usually just about 15 to 20 minutes of intentional movement a day is enough to begin producing measurable neurological effects. So kind of like that famous shoe brand says, just do it. You can walk, you can bike, you can swim, you can do strength training. The specific activity in itself is not really important. What matters is that you do it and you do it consistently. Now, one last thing is that from a chiropractic standpoint, movement is only fully effective when your nervous system can execute it well, because every motion your body makes is directed and refined by the brain-body communication. Every joint in your spine contains specialized nerve endings, receptors that constantly send sensory signals to your brain, telling it where your body parts are in time and space and how they're moving. This is called proprioception, and it's one of the richest sources of input that your brain receives. When the spinal joints lose their normal movement, these signals are impaired. That reduces your brain's ability to process, respond, and stay sharp. Restoring spinal motion boosts proprioceptive input, which can stimulate neuroplastic changes in brain regions responsible for focus, coordination, and higher level thinking. So, chiropractic care isn't just about pain relief. It's about improving the effective of the information your brain receives. Adjustments are literally nourishment for your brain. Another thing is that most people over 50 deal with chronic stress and brain fog. And when they do that, they get stuck in sympathetic overdrive. That's the nervous system's fight or flight mode. And they never fully shift into the parasympathetic state, which is where our body rests, repairs, and recovers. Chiropractic adjustments have been shown to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which results in lowering cortisol levels, reducing inflammation, improving sleep, and improving that brain-body communication I was just talking about. So chiropractic care helps your nervous system work the way it was designed to. And when the nervous system is functioning well, everything else that we've covered today functions more effectively. So chiropractic care is kind of the glue that holds all this together in a more effective way. All right, if you don't take anything else away from today, take this. You don't have to overhaul your whole life. You just need a few small wins done consistently. Here's the things I mentioned today in a nutshell. Challenge your brain daily. Read, learn, try something new. Move every day. Even 15 to 20 minutes a day changes your brain chemistry. Make sure and protect your sleep. Your brain is repairing while you rest, so you got to make sure you're getting sleep. Lower chronic stress levels. That calms down the cortisol effect in your body. Utilize breathing, stillness, and exercise to help in this area. And one thing I didn't go into any detail with, but that's equally important, is watch your diet. Make sure you're fueling your brain well. Reduce processed foods and sugar. Focus on whole foods, healthy fats, and hydration. These aren't complicated, but when they're done consistently, they're very powerful. So, I want to leave you with one last thought. Aging does not automatically mean losing your sharpness. A lot of what people experience as cognitive decline is not inevitable. It's the results of habits nobody ever taught us to pay attention to, right? Our brains are adaptable, they're resilient, and they respond to our lifestyle, the way that we live. The decisions that you make this week matter, not just for living longer, but for thinking clearly, remembering names, staying independent, and being fully present for the people that you love. So if today's webinar resonates with you, if you've been noticing brain fog, fatigue, poor focus, sleep issues, or you simply want to be proactive about aging better, we want to take a closer look at what's going on with you together. At Four Points Family Chiropractic, we look at how your spine and nervous system may be affecting your overall function, your energy, your sleep, that brain-body communication I mentioned that's so important. And we start where most healthcare stops. So if you want to come in and see if we can help you with any of these issues, call our office at 512-345-9355. Mention the mental fitness webinar, and we'll set up that initial appointment that'll include a very thorough initial consultation, an examination, x-rays if necessary. And we're going to follow that appointment up with a special review of your findings and a separate appointment with you where we're going to go over everything we found, help you understand better what you're dealing with, why you're experiencing the things you're experiencing, and set up a strategy to help your brain-body communication improve and help you function better. So call us at 512-345-9355 if this idea appeals to you. Because living longer is great, but staying sharp, active, and mentally strong while you do, that's the real goal. I want to thank you for joining me today. All right. Be sure and tune in next month when Dr. Mary will be discussing strategies to hydrate better, which is especially important as we head into the Texas summer heat. If you want to rewatch this webinar, or if you want to review the strategies I just shared, or if you'd like to share this webinar with somebody you care about, go to our website, fourpointschiropractic.com, click on the Watch a Webinar tab that's found in our new patient center. And we have all the webinars we do in that area. This one will be the first one listed once we post it after this webinar is complete. All right. Until next month, I'm Dr. Tom Neblett with 4 Points Family Chiropractic. We want to show you a better way to better health. Thanks for joining me.